So in this video, I'll show you how I prep my hair, do the whole stocking cap method, and how I stick the wig to my head and then pull it up. And I do show you how I style the back as well. So the back is not actually glued down. I didn't do any like tapes or glue in the back. That's gonna be a whole other video. So once I learn how to do that, I'll teach you guys. But in this video, I show you some tips that I have for pulling up the back of your hair without having to glue it down. And I didn't use actual wig glue in this video. I used Got2b gel, so it's all like things that you might already have or something a little bit more accessible than having an actual wig glue. I am going to do some videos in the future with some wig glue, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you want to see that, but if you want to see how I stick down my wigs using Got2b and how I pull them up in a ponytail, then just keep watching. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright, so to get started, I have my hair in 2 braids, and then I'm just going to use a little bit of gel. Not this one, I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to use like a lighter hold gel. This one's from Garnier. I don't want to use the Got2b on my hair just because it's like a lot to wash out. So I'm just going to use a more gentle gel just to slick back my hairline. You don't have to do this. See, I'm not good at braids, so I just have my hair in like 2 little pigtails. But if you're good at braids, do like a French braid or like an actual braid down. That would be better. And especially these like sideburns too, I like to slick those in. And then these 2 braids, I'm just going to crisscross them in the back and pin them up with some bobby pins. All right, now we have something that looks like this. This is going to be our base underneath. And so I'm going to grab a stocking cap. I'm actually going to use 2 today. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that in just a minute. So I'm going to take the first one and I'm going to pull it on over my head. So cover my entire head and hairline. So I only have eye makeup on right now. You'd want to do your makeup after you do this because like see, it's going to be pushing into your face. So if you have foundation on, it's going to ruin it. So you want to do this before. All right, so you want your entire hairline to be covered. This one like that. All right, now I'm going to cut little slots for my ears. So just carefully, let me look in the mirror. Cut a little hole and cut up. Don't cut your ear. And then your ear should be able to fit through. There we go. And I like to do that because it helps this part lay really flat, because that part sometimes it kind of lifts because of your ear. So if you do this, everything is kind of held in place and flat to your head. So this looks good. All right, so let's go ahead and get spraying with our little Got2b spray. I'm sure you all know about this guy. If you don't, it's just like a super strong hairspray. So we're gonna spray in an upwards direction, kind of starting right here, like at your hairline, and you can spray into your hair, that's totally fine, but try not to get it too far down your forehead. Like that. You can use your finger. And we'll be doing probably like 2 coats of this, so keep it like a thin coat, and then when it kind of dries down, we'll do 1 more coat. And really make sure you get these parts here because they're the first ones that start lifting, so you really want to make sure you get that down. All right, so I have both layers dried, and what you can do is you can also use a blow dryer on the cool setting if you want to speed up the process, but I just let it air dry and it doesn't take too long, just like a few minutes. So now what we're going to do is cut off this part here. And once you cut this band, you're going to find that this part will kind of just like fly up and be floppy in the back. So this is where the second stocking cap comes in. You don't have to do this, but if you don't want this part to be like flopping in the back, then you're going to do this. You're going to put this one on top and kind of sit it further back. You have something that looks like this, and then you're gonna go ahead and cut this part off. So got my scissors. I like to start in the middle and just cut upwards. There we go, and then you can cut off this part here. So see what I mean? This part would just kind of like bounce back. Oh wait, there we go. and just be kind of like floppy there. So you can kind of tuck that into your second stocking cap. And I like to cut it off pretty close to my actual hairline. So what you can do is you can actually lift it a little bit and then trim off that part. All right, this is looking pretty good to me right now. If you want to get that like melted super fine finish, what you can do for these little parts here is you can get the Got To Be glued. I'm just gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand, and what you can do, take a little like rat tail comb and work section by section and really just push down the edges. All right, so this is looking pretty good to me. So I'm just gonna take this powder. It's the Maybelline Super Stay one. You can use whatever powder you want. And I'm just gonna powder right here just to kind of blend this with my skin a little bit more, and it kind of helps to cover up your hair, especially if you have dark hair, just to give you that seamless base. And doing this gives you like a really nice base, so once you put your wig on and if you look through the lace, it'll just look like skin, you know what I mean? Instead of seeing the hair underneath, you'll see this cap, which will look like your scalp. All right, so I'm looking nice and bald. We're ready to put some hair on. So this is the wig that I'm gonna be using today. This is the Jessica Long Bob from Freedom Couture. I do have some other videos on this, so I'll link those down below and in the cards as well if you want to check those out. I have like an unboxing and everything like that. So, okay, I want to give you a little tip. So if I know I'm going to be putting a wig up, like into an updo, a bun, or a ponytail, what I'll do is I'll prep the wig the night before. So I'll wash it, condition it, and then I'll leave it on a wig head like this and on a tripod, just so that the hair dries like this, like in the upwards direction. Because otherwise, if you have it set in a part and then you put your hair up, sometimes the part will start to kind of open. I don't know if you've seen updos like that, like when people have their wigs up and then the part, like everything's up, but then in the middle it's just kind of like the part starts to open because the hair is set in a middle part or whatever. But if you set your hair to go all the way back, then they'll all want to go back in that direction, and it just kind of helps your updo to be a little easier because all the hair wants to go in that direction. But this is what it looks like. It is a full lace unit, and I have it already cut off, like all the lace is cut off. I've been wearing this wig for quite a while now, and the bottom looks like this. So I have the 4 clips at the bottom. So this isn't like a 360 lace wig, so I'm not going to be gluing down the back. That's going to be a whole other video. So I'll show you how I pull this hair up with a wig that's like this, because most likely you have a wig similar to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my head. All right, so what I do is I kind of line it up so it's in position, and this wig, I do have to say, is like a little bit big for me. I'm usually a medium, and this is actually a large because it was on sale, and I'm like, I'm getting that anyway, even though it's not my size. So it does kind of go over my ears a little bit, but I can kind of work around that, and I just kind of cheat it. I'll show you what I mean. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna tie the hair back just so it's not all over the place. Okay, and then I'm gonna pull the wig back a little bit, so just to expose the hairline. And what I'm gonna be using is this guy here, the Got To Be Glued. I like the one that comes in the yellow tube better, but I do have the black one as well. Sometimes I kind of use both, but I feel like this one works better for me. This one comes out a little bit white, and this one comes out clear, but they both dry down clear. As long as you use like thin layers, it'll dry clear. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna take my little rat tail comb and take a little bit and apply it to my hairline, or just kind of like where I'm gonna be putting the wig. So kind of feel it out. So the wig is going to be sitting kind of like this. So just a little bit before my wig cap ends, maybe on my wig cap as well. So I'm going to apply a thin layer. And I know some people like to work in sections, and that's probably smart, but I like to do my whole hairline at the same time. But it might be smart to work in sections, but I kind of like to do it all at once. All right, so I have 2 layers on and it is very tacky right now. You kind of want to wait for it to get a little clear and tacky, almost like you would when you're waiting for eyelash glue to get tacky, right? You want that same kind of sticky texture. So usually what I would do is take the middle of the wig, place it in the middle, and then just go and do my whole hairline. Now, okay, this wig is a little bit big for me. It's a large, and usually I wear a medium, so I do have to do a little bit of trickery. I'm going to be folding the lace a little bit in this area just because I am going to be wearing a little bit of a bang, so it's going to cover that. But when I do that, let's just like all ignore that part and pretend everything is good. But you can tell that it's big because, like, see how these parts kind of cover my ear? They're not supposed to be like that. So I'm just going to go like this and place that on my sideburn area, so it sort of will go around my ear. And then I just kind of work my way up, place that there. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of a crazy fold here, so let's just pretend that didn't just happen. Okay, I'm gonna get over here. You can't even tell, eh? Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is let that dry down, and then I'm gonna take the clear gel and my little comb, and I'm just gonna kind of spot treat the areas like this didn't have enough gel, so the lace is kind of lifted here. So I'll just spot treat the areas that need a little bit more gel and a little bit more attention and just kind of push them in. And I think ideally this is like supposed to go behind your ear, but again, because my wig is like a little bit big, I'm just gonna do the over the ear, and we're just gonna pretend that looks good. If you're fancy and you know how to do a reverse French braid, and you can like French braid this part up to your pony, that would be so sick, because then you can kind of give it that relaxed fit down here and then still have a cool design coming up. Does that make sense? So what I'm gonna do is just gonna do a normal braid, because I don't know how to French braid up like that. It's like something like that, and then once you have your hair, down, it doesn't really show. So that's just like one technique that I've come up with that I use. So as long as you just have to remember you give yourself some slack in the back, and yeah, then it looks something like this. So let me pin that up, and then I'll put my pony in and I'll show you the final look. Isn't this pony so cute? I love the little flip. And I do have to say that this did take me a long time to do. It took me over an hour to do this ponytail. So it does take a while, but remember how my hair looked like at the beginning of the video with my quarantine roots? And now I have this chic little Bella pony, you know? I love the transformation that you can have with wigs and hair pieces. You can totally just change your look in, I mean, just an hour, and I have a whole new hairdo, girl. So I think it's really fun. If you guys want to try it, I'll leave a link for all the things that I use, like this statuette and all that stuff. I'll leave a link for everything in the description box. This is what it looks like a little closer up, and I'm actually not mad at how it looks. You can still see a little bit of the gel there, so I just have to clean that up. But, I mean, it does kind of look like my hair, right? So, I mean, I'm pretty happy with how it's looking like. So I'm going to leave it here. This has been a long video, I'm sure, but if you want to check out more about this wig, I'll leave it in the description box down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Bye.